17. Einherji, Arya. Literacy and symbolic language of myths and kvæði, sacred poems, spot the allegory in God's spells, and telling the one thing, we are ginnungagap. We are the great white womb of the universe, the fullness, truth, eternity, reality, divinity. Óðinn given to Óðinn, myself given to myself. Hávamál, Visa 138 and on. Gnothise aton, know thyself by transcending. Do we not know that we are ginnungagap? And do we not know that the honeymead of life flows through our veins, our whole physiology, the cosmos, all life? Have we not yet understood that we are, as it were, caught in the vicious cycle of the mistake of our intellect, the lure of matter? Impression forms seed of memory that we do not reckon, but are seeded deep in our heart. They correlate with a new idea and fuel it. An impression of something bad behaves exactly in the same way, of course. Good and bad are only duality of the world, the little and big, extremes that we find all over the place in our beautiful or ugly world of men, good men, bad men. And remember that past lives, bottom right on the picture, is our long evolution from Norður, also have sown some of the seeds of memory. Actually, most of them at times, and some are very, very old and persistent. The vicious cycle is an act, the impression thereof, new idea fueled into a desire by the seed of memory rooted in the heart, leading to us to act. By the fire of wisdom, our beloved divinity Ullur, we can roast the seeds. To the great annoyance of Þjóðvitnir, who runs the stuff business in Kali Yuga, as he then loses us as his clients, loses us out of the target group of his offers, which are the objects of the senses. Einherjar work for Mother Nature, not for egoistic purposes. Animals live in paradisos. They are fenced in their behavior by their inborn nature. Animals, men on base stages, and enlightened men all behave according to their nature. If we are not animals anymore, we should be enlightened men. Ullur burns up Gemisgarðar, paradise, and we are free from the animal behavior. A beastly behavior of man is a pathetic happening in a pathetic state of a so-called man. Þjóðvitnir has endless diversity of objects for the senses, which can distract us from looking for the inner wealth that we truly possess. The senses untiringly look for joys for the mind, as an agile servant tries to please his master in some pleasing way. An enlightened man enjoys the world perfectly well, but does not get caught hooked on things and circumstances. He is free from the bonds of matter, that is, liberated, but mind thee, it is not obtained through confession into an institution, is simply still another chase for ideas, all worldly. We have to purify ourselves until siddhi, perfection, is reached. We ourselves, didst thou listen to this, and understand what I am telling thee? Jódhin is Óðinn, the fighter and conqueror. Conquers what? Himself. My lower self, individual self, conquers the higher self, universal self, and that in turn conquers myself. They are one, not two, so the battlefield is a little place inside us. The 3-in-1 trinities are many in our mythology and god spells. We have already heard of some of them. Here we have Vata, Pitta, Kapha, qualities of air, fire, water in our body, physiology, and Rishi, Devata, Chandas, as Óðinn, Vili, Vie. Knowledge becomes curious, gets the will to look for something, a process of knowing, but in this self-referral state, knowledge finds only itself and becomes created knowledge. When we are pure, have become Einherjar, see that the created world, including our own body, is aloof from and are not in any way connected to the real me, ginnungagap, then we sit at the same table as Óðinn, Valföður in Valhöll, fully alive, of course. Óðinn, individual self, and Óðinn, cosmic self, are one. They never were two, only we had forgotten. But now memory is regained. Smriti Lapta. We have found Mimir. Odin and Mimir are not two. Odin remembers now. We are more one than ever when we remember. Have Mimir. Purity is to have gotten rid of ósvinna, ignorance, avidya. Tyr is pure. Ignorance leaves us. It's not for real in the first place anyway. In Valhall, where living Einherjar live, the air, fire, water elements are in the pure state. We freeze water, then there is only pure water in the ice, and all particles that perhaps were in the water no longer stay there. The same happens if you try to boil some seawater and capture the steam. So we see that the impurities, that what does not really belong to the water, does not form a part of the water, even if mixed with it like salt and minerals are in the seawater. We, the pure essence, and the impurities, stress, in us should have no right to be together in our life. This is why Andhrimnir, Eldhrimnir, and Sæhrimnir are air, fire, water with this rím ending, frost, and also rím, rhyme, assonance, as being some flowing orderliness, as a good poem affects us. While Odin Valföður only enjoys wine, the flow of consciousness, he gives meat alone to his wolves, Geri and Freki, the greedy devourers. Our body gets recycled after use, and in the belly of the wolf it's not of much use. Then the real me is in Helja, and needs no body anyway. Don't worry, we are eternity. We make a new body at conception in our next ævi, Ayus, when we decide to stay no longer in the cold and brightness of Helja, good as she is for a needed break. The spiritual beings that we are at conception take to making a new body out of the abundance of material that is around in the unstable, beautiful world of thoughts and gungnir. And we should not forget, even when we have made our eyes with which we perceive worldly particles, what we are, and that we must draw nourishment from our very origin, Ginnungagap, as we are it, and without it we are not. And without it the whole world will crumble down, collapse, not exist at all. So Valhall is a palace for a living man, an evolved state of consciousness. Sheer delight to live that life of an Einherji, an enlightened man, Hugin, yogi, Munin, muni. Then we act for the sake of others only, and all egoistic desires have completely left us. Loki, before he learns how to perform a Valkyrja, is cut off from the great nourishment and sustenance, and withers away. See Skírnismál when Gerður claims the gold of Gymir to be of some great worth to her, and does not perceive of any necessity of having anything to do with the divine. Freyr, Skírnir, all the divine gifts. But when Loki starts to heighten his consciousness, he becomes loftur, and is about to find the shortcut to Valhall. Note that air, fire, water have come out of the 5 elements. Vatapitakafa, Andhrimnir, Eldhrimnir, Sæhrimnir, in the world, and as pure rím in the kitchen in Valhall. Note, teachers used to mock the stupidity of heathens, as they themselves were churchians. The old disdain from the dark ages of ignorance still there. Under, this word is found only in Icelandic, in our Norse mythology, coming from Advan in Sanskrit. Ullur skis, as this is a fast way to travel in the heights of snowy mountains. Ullur is under goð, and skadi too is under dís. They travel swiftly on skis in the heights of human consciousness. But for goodness sake, do not confuse purgatorium, chastisement, fire, invented by some theocracies as a threat and to frighten men, with the act of transcending in our lives. getting ullur, the fire of knowledge to purify ourselves, and thus ridding us of the animal stages which we so stupidly drag along into our first few human lives. The vehicle of Odin is our nervous system, Sleipnir. A tamed and alert and a relaxed and willing horse is of great value to the rider, but a rebelling and unwilling horse is not. Just imagine the preciseness of the symbolic language of myths. Our vehicle, our human nervous system, is portrayed as a horse. A good one is very good to have, a bad one is not. When Sleipnir is well tamed and easily manipulated, we can travel easily from the world to Ásgarður, leave Sleipnir there in suspended and quiet alertness, become Ginnungagap exclusively, and travel back to the world on Sleipnir, who each time becomes purer and purer. All men have a nervous system, only some do not know how to use it to transcend and how to purify it. This is what the horse symbol is telling us. Did we understand? Arya means excellent. It's an adjective, not a noun. It could be the same word as Einherji, or the same word as Jarl. There was never a race of Aryans, nor an invasion. Max Müller got paid from the English colonists for inventing a story that could split up the great wisdom of India. That is, Max Müller invented a falsified history, which they then spread for strategic purposes only. We should remember that mankind is not classified according to varna, color of skin, races, money, titles, but according to the color of the inner man, called caste, the very stage of evolution on which each man is and gets born to in order to carry on his evolutionary path from the very spot on which he is. A next step must be taken from the very spot on which we are now, right? So we get born to our karma according to urður verðandi skuld. Are they men of darkness and base stages, not more than animals walking on two legs? Or are they of light, inner color, exalted states of consciousness, purified souls, Arya, Einherjar, Brahmin, enlightened men? Or something in between, wherever we carry on from there? See Ríkstöla on thrall, karl, jarl. Note, karl is from Sanskrit kar, to do. Karl is a working man. Rígur, heimtallur perhaps, comes to men that have little light in their house, and their progeny will be born there and carry on from their darkish evolutionary states. Their men, and heimtallur, Rígur, comes to them, and here will be the right place for men that choose to be born here. They learn the work of their parents, and have to learn how to perform a Valkyria to find the shortcut to Valhall. Rígur visits men with the door a little more open so light is let in, and there, too, children will be born. Chosen as a birthplace and surroundings during childhood by themselves according to their then present place on the way of evolution. They learn the work of their parents and shall learn how to perform a Valkyria to find the shortcut to Valhall. We have to take our next step from where we are, right? Rígur visits a house full of light, and there those who have through many lives perfected themselves will choose to be born, so that they carry on from where they died from. They learn the wisdom of their parents and certainly will learn how to perform a Valkyria to find the shortcut and go quickly to Valhall. Jnanavan, Svardharma, Svabhava. The individual intent on that. Live thy own dharma. To live the life of another brings danger to our own evolution. Mother Nature cares for our needs when we live in flow with evolution. Thund,